Hello, I'm Jash Hirani. Let's discuss where the US-Iran mediation currently stands and whether there are any signs that the war in West Asia is heading towards an end or towards further escalation. Here in India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has told citizens to tighten their seat belts, indicating a long-term economic challenge regarding fuel, fertilizers and foreign exchange reserves. So what is the status of the mediation between the US and Iran? Iran via Pakistan had sent a peace proposal to Washington to end the war, which US President Donald Trump quickly rejected, saying, "I have just read the response from Iran's so-called representatives. I don't like it. Totally unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter." In his latest press conference, President Trump called the Iranian proposal a garbage and said that the ceasefire is unbelievably weak and it's on life support. Meanwhile, Iran has threatened the United States that it will enrich uranium to 90% if it is attacked by Washington again. Parliamentary National Security and Foreign Policy Commission spokesperson Ibrahim Raisi wrote on X, "One of Iran's options in the event of another attack could be 90% enrichment. We will review it in the parliament." There appears to be a sense of urgency in Washington regarding the conclusion of the war. This could perhaps be due to President Trump's upcoming 3-day visit to China from May 13 to May 15, during which US President may not want to negotiate with the Chinese premier from a submissive position. The conclusion of the Iran war could strengthen Washington's strategic position. Thus, an ongoing conflict in West Asia, where Trump is not perceived to be in a strong position, would benefit China, and a quick resolution to the conflict may not necessarily align with Beijing's interest. Meanwhile, reports have emerged claiming that Pakistan quietly allowed Iranian military aircrafts to park at one of its key air bases during the recently announced ceasefire between the US and Iran. US officials familiar with the matter said Iran had sent multiple aircrafts and military assets to Pakistan Air Force Base Noor Khan near Rawalpindi shortly after the ceasefire was announced by US President Donald Trump in early April. This is the same Noor Khan base that India had reportedly targeted during Operation Sindoor. Among the aircrafts reportedly parked at the airbase was an Iranian Air Force RC-130 reconnaissance aircrafts, a surveillance variant of Lockheed C-130 Hercules transport aircraft. This raises a serious question because Pakistan has already signed a defense agreement with Saudi Arabia stating an attack on one is an attack on both. At the same time, Saudi Arabia and Iran remain rivals, with Riyadh having suffered significant blows from Tehran. This incident raises serious questions about which camp Pakistan truly stands with. Pakistan's foreign ministry in a press release rejected these claims, stating, "Pakistan categorically rejects the CBS News report regarding the presence of Iranian aircraft at Noor Khan Air Base as misleading and sensationalized. Such speculative narrative appear aimed at undermining ongoing efforts for regional stability and peace." Following the ceasefire and during the initial round of Islamabad talks, a number of aircrafts from Iran and the United States arrived in Pakistan to facilitate the movement of diplomatic personnel, security teams, and administrative staff associated with the talks process. Some aircraft and support personnel remained temporarily in Pakistan in anticipation of subsequent rounds of engagement. The Iranian aircraft currently parked in Pakistan arrived during the ceasefire period and bear no linkage whatsoever to any military contingency or preservation arrangement. Assertions suggesting otherwise are speculative, misleading, and entirely detached from the factual context. Meanwhile, Pakistan is reportedly set to increase its oil imports from Russia, according to Russia's state-run TASS news agency, which quoted Pakistan's ambassador to Russia, Faisal Niaz Tirmizi. Pakistan has yet to officially confirm the report. India, however, has reportedly declined Russia's offer to sell liquefied natural gas that is subject to US sanctions, despite a shortfall driven by tensions in the Middle East, according to Reuters. India's Oil and Gas Ministry and Russia's embassy in New Delhi have yet to respond regarding the report. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asked Indians to conserve as much fuel as possible, time will tell whether India's decision not to purchase additional fuel from Russia was the correct strategic choice by the leadership in New Delhi. If Pakistan can secure its energy reserves from Russia, is it not prudent for India to do the same, considering the historically warm ties between Moscow and New Delhi? Another very significant development came yesterday. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, citing US officials, Israel had secretly established a military base in Iraq's desert region shortly before launching its air campaign against Iran. While the United States was reportedly aware of the development, Iraq itself was unaware of what was taking place within its own territory. The base allegedly accommodated Israeli special forces and served as a logistical support center for the Israeli Air Force. It also reportedly housed search and rescue units tasked with rapidly assisting Israeli pilots in case aircrafts were brought down over hostile territory. With Iran located nearly 1,000 miles away from Israel, the Iraqi base significantly shortened the operational distances, making it easier for Tel Aviv to sustain prolonged aerial operations against Iranian targets. Coming to South Asia, India is all set to host the BRICS summit from May 14 to 15. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is reportedly going to miss the summit due to President Trump's visit to China during the same period. Reports also suggest that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to meet Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and other BRICS foreign ministers ahead of his UAE visit. This will be Araghchi's first visit to India since the conflict in West Asia began. These were the latest updates regarding the war in West Asia and the current status of mediation efforts between the United States and Iran. At HW News English, we will continue to closely track every major development in the conflict and bring you timely updates and in-depth analysis on how the situation in West Asia unfolds. Thank you.